Alright, so we're on to our sixth lesson on our fractions unit, and this is called Using Benchmarks to Order Fractions. It's based on Math Focus 4, pages 220 to 222. So the book says Cole was playing miniature golf with his friends. The following fractions show how each player did on their first swing. So Cole hit the ball 5/8 of the way to the hole. Anila hit it 4/5 of the way to the hole. Joshua hit it 5/6 of the way to the hole. And Kate hit it 2/8 of the way to the hole. Now, I've already laid out my fraction scripts to compare them, but what I have here is I have Cole, Anila, Joshua, and Kate, and how far they hit it. So this visually shows how far each kid hit it. However, you also notice there's a half down here, and this is what we call a benchmark. Now, a benchmark is a familiar number of measurement to use for comparing other numbers or measurements. When talking about fractions, half is a very common benchmark, but there are other ones like 1/4, 3/4, and then if we're talking percents, 5%, 10%, those are benchmarks. 25% and 50% and 75% are other benchmarks. They're common numbers you often see, common fractions you often see. That's what a benchmark is. So we can use this benchmark to figure out, well, who hit it more than halfway to the hole? Well, looking at this, we know that this is more than halfway to the hole, 5/6, because 3/6 would be half. So we know that Joshua hit it more than halfway to the hole. We also know that 1/5, 4/5 is more than half. So that means that Anila hit it more than halfway to the hole. And then we also know that 5/8, well, 4/8 is about half. So 5/8 is more than halfway. So Cole hit it more than halfway to the hole. The only person who didn't hit it more than halfway to the hole is Kate with 2/8, so she must have had a bad swing or something. Who knows? Bad luck, bad beginner's luck, I guess. So, using these fractions the way they're laid out, though, I can order them from shortest to longest distance or longest to shortest distance. So the question is, how can you put these fractions in order from shortest distance to longest distance? Well, it's pretty obvious once I've laid out my fraction scripts like this, that the shortest distance is obviously Kate. So 1/8 would be my shortest distance, followed by Cole, who is 5/8, followed by Anila, which is 4/5, and followed by Joshua, which is 5/6. He hit it the farthest. And as you can see, that's how I laid these out. 2/8, 5/8, 4/5, 5/6. Comparing unlike fractions, yes. Shortest distance to longest distance. Okay, so on number one checking, it says on the first swings at hole 2, the 4 balls rolled this far along the distance to the hole. So Cole, 1/5 of the way, Kate, 7/8 of the way, Anila, 6/10 of the way, Joshua, 4/10 of the way. Now the first question asks, which of the balls rolled more than halfway to the hole? Now I don't need to use fraction scripts to actually do this because I know that half of 10 is 5 and half of 8 is 4. So I know that 6/10 and 7/8 are more than halfway. So my answer would be 7/8 and 6/10 because 4/8 and 5/10 would be half. 1/5 isn't anywhere near close to half when we know that 2.5 is half of 5. And we know that 4 out of 10 is not close to half. 5 out of 10 is half. But if I were to use fraction scripts, they would look like this. So here's Cole's hit. Here's Kate's hit. She did much better on her second swing. Here's Anila's hit. And here's Joshua's hit. So the first part of the question simply asked me which of the balls rolled more than halfway. We already answered that. However, they also want to order the fractions from least to greatest. So it would be 1/5, 4/10, 6/10, 7/8. And that's what I wrote right here. So shortest distance to longest distance, or farthest distance. I hope this is clear, and if you have any questions, you can contact me by email or on Microsoft Teams. Thank you.